Good afternoon, everybody. It's me, Nana, again. So I am back on my lunch hour, and I just wanted to go back over a few things from the news. So we'll start with M Live. Um, and where was that? So let's just kind of like highlight all the everything. I know what I went over earlier because it kind of bothered me that was in the news, and it just kind of like, wow, that's kind of crazy. Um, they're saying in Genesee County that the morgue fills up partly due to violent deaths. Um, the medical examiner says so. This was today at 11:23 a.m. Ron Fonger reported this. Brian Hunter, Genesee County medical examiner and forensic pathologist, puts on necessary protective clothing as he would while performing autopsies Thursday at Hurley Medical Center in Flint. Hunter is part of a program that is a first in the state. During autopsies, Hunter will take extra precautions to protect the heart in order to use heart valves for transplants. So many people are dying under circumstances that require medical examiner investigations that the county is being forced to amend its budget to cover the rising costs. So the County Board of Commissioners on Wednesday, July 28th, gave preliminary approval to a transfer of more than $37,000 from the general fund to cover the shortage in the body transportation budget of the medical examiner's office. So 560, wow, investigations of suspected bug deaths have also contributed to the increase in cases, Hunter said. Communities are struggling, they're under stress, so as a result, what you see is people are behaving less than optimal, which has resulted in an increased number of violent deaths, the medical examiner said. We're seeing more deaths across the board, everything is up. So the ME is mandated by the state law to investigate sudden, unexpected, accidental, and violent deaths and has the authority to order an autopsy to determine or confirm the cause and manner of death. So this was just kind of interesting because he says we've seen more motor vehicle accidents, more pedestrian vehicle accidents. Hunter said this is, I think, a real uptick, which I don't know if they're they cannot be, in my opinion, comparing this to last year. Because last year we were on lockdowns. People were working remotely. We weren't allowed to shop. We couldn't go from house to house. So there was not a lot of movement. And as a matter of fact, in Michigan, I know for a fact, um, auto insurance companies were giving you a break because you weren't driving anywhere because of the lockdown. So I don't know what they're comparing this to. I saw this on the news this morning and I just had to comment on this. So that was, yeah, just kind of one of my things that make you go, hmm. And then the more hospitals are adopting the jab mandates. And I think it just seems to me like there's more, fear porn going on here. And I was watching TV. I don't do a lot of watching TV. However, I have noticed a lot more of those advertising, and I just don't understand why the need to advertise for something that is supposed to be completely harmless, helpful, and in your best interest. So that's just me. Just me, my opinion. Okay. And then in public interest, we have that Larry Nassar that he just disgusts me. Just, yeah, whatever. And then you have Witless in Jackson County. Oh God, that should say enough about Jackson County, folks. Letter from the editor. Our new documentary might make you uncomfortable, and that's the point. So an old adage in our business is the job of the newspaper is to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. I've never heard that before, but hey, first time for everything, right? That saying has proven to more than just hold up over time. In MLive's latest piece of investigative journalism, Lori Chapman proves it transcends the newspaper format. So Chapman, a video producer at MLive, is the creative force behind a documentary they released this week called Fight for Environmental Justice in Michigan. The 10-minute video tells a powerful story of how marginalized communities are saddled with some of the worst environmental circumstances in Michigan. Are we talking about Flint? Foul air, foul water, smokestacks near playgrounds, and highways running through their front yards, and with very little leverage to affect change. I want to upset people in the right way. I want to inspire people, said Chapman. This is definitely not like anything I've ever done, so I didn't want to get it wrong. Let's take a peek. Yeah. Yeah, I knew they were talking about Flint. Okay, enough of that. You can look that up yourself. I'll put the link in there. You know I always do. The new traffic stop policy aimed to curb racial bias, but police associations say it will put people at risk. So today at 7:15 a.m., they posted on MLive, Ingham County Courthouse located in Mason, Michigan by Phyllis Rose, special MO. That's the picture. This was actually reported by Alyssa Burr at MLive. A new traffic policy meant to address systemic racial bias in the criminal justice system is raising concern for a Michigan Police Association. On Tuesday, the 27th of July, Ingham County Prosecutor Carol Simon, I don't know how to say that, announced that her office will no longer pursue certain criminal charges resulting from non-public safety traffic stops. What the flying flappuccino? She said this policy change means a need to re-examine and reconsider how policing practices can perpetuate racial injustice. So you can have a crack pipe in your car and get pulled over, but they're not supposed to pull you in for having crack. Yeah, that's just not cool. Simon says she believes public officials are trying to do the best job they can and don't want the new directive to feel like an attack on the police. My katush. Robert Stevenson, executive director of the Michigan Association of Chief Police, calls it a disservice to the community and a free walk for criminals. The police are in the process of trying to protect their communities, and she's basically taking a tool away from them, which is the accountability for felons and dangerous people, Stevenson said. If I were a citizen of Ingham County, I would be extremely concerned about this and express my concern. Non-public safety stops or pretext stops occur when a person is detained for something minor while police seek evidence of a more serious crime. Window tints, expired registration, a defective taillight, failing to stop leaving a private driveway, driving in the left lane, certain defective equipment, and driving with a suspended license are some of the examples of non-public safety-related violations that people could be stopped for. The new policy won't use the term pretext stop because of the connotation that pretext stops are illegal, although the press release from the county prosecutor's office acknowledges these stops do not improve public safety, as the majority do not result in the discovery of contraband or weapons. But aren't we supposed to be following the law? So if I fail to stop at a stoplight, I'm not going to get pulled over now? I'm not going to get a ticket? So what the hell are we doing? I don't understand this. Y'all, leave it in the comments. Explain this shit to me because I am very confused. Matt Weiss of the Prosecuting Attorneys Association of Michigan and the Marquette County Prosecuting Attorney said the intention of the directive is well placed. I think we need to address the concerns, and obviously every county prosecutor can set whatever policies they feel are appropriate for their community. We said I would point out that Simon does not have exceptions that are in our policy for public safety or an event that endangers law enforcement. The county prosecutor's office reviews any warrant request from traffic stops. This is crazy, you guys. You have got to look at this. And like declare July 28th to August will buy Michigan week. I'm sorry, but I'm trying to buy local every day. Good Lord. And what is this? The Pentagon failing to study firefighter PFAs exposure, says an internal audit. Oh, so the U.S. Department of Defense is not planning to study the long-term health of military fighter fighters exposed to toxic PFAs. Well, ain't that just fine and dandy? You know, again, like I said, under the previous administration, it seemed like our military, our police, they just seemed to had, you know, firefighters included in that, seemed that they just got more backing and more assistance under the previous administration. This administration could care less, give two shits about it. I don't know. It just don't seem right. That's again, this is just my opinion of what I see here, but that's kind of crazy, don't you think? And I don't remember, but do you remember this young gentleman? I am so bummed about this because, he had such promise. Um, and he already got busted for what? I don't know if it was an OUI, operating while under the influence of something. But now, so then he's spending hundreds of campaign money in a strip club, and then here he is again on the 24th, avoids jail time after another bond violation. So here you have, but see, this is, let me just tell you, this is common in Jackson County. At least I can tell you one commissioner that has had similar incidences of accidents and all sorts of bad stuff, and not a thing happens. Now, if this were you and me, yeah, bond violation, that would be like, sorry about your luck, but what is it, the Monopoly game? Do not pass go, do not collect $200, whatever. I just find that to be quite crazy. And why is this under politics? That's crazy. So everything on the August 3rd primary elections in Genesee County. We went through the clerk. Her fundraising, that's under scrutiny right now. So I guess at the Kent County State Senate Candidate Forum, they were discussing all sorts of fun stuff. Jab mandates, the forensic audit. For a vacant Kent County Senate seat. I'm only the candidate calling for a forensic audit up here, said Algoma Township Supervisor Kevin Green, drawing one of the biggest rounds of applause of the night. Today's forum featured three candidates, Green State Rep Tommy Brand, Wyoming, and State Rep Mark Huizinga, competing for the August 3rd Republican primary to represent the conservative-leaning 28th State Senate District. The district encompasses Kent County's northern half and a sliver of its western edge, including the cities of Wyoming and Walker and Granville. Interesting to know. Make your votes count, folks. And then what is this $100 million for affordable housing projects paid by COVID-19? I just don't understand. All this money that went to the bug from last year, and then they can, so all this money, it's kind of like that relief package that we got last year, where we got what, $600, and then you have $100 million. Why isn't that distributed? At least for here in Michigan, why isn't that distributed to Michiganders? Why don't, out of that $100 million, why don't you just, split it between all the Michiganders so that people can pay their bills, people don't lose their houses, don't get evicted, can pay off whatever. But again, it's never about the people. This is what really frustrates me, is you have all that money that was in that relief package that went overseas. And here we have $100 million. And instead of giving it to the people, because this is coming from our tax money, again, folks, there is such a misappropriation of funds, in my opinion, across the board, not just Michigan, in the whole country. because I just don't understand how people can get away with this, and how we as a country just keep letting this happen. It's like, here, let me just sit down and you can run me over. When is enough, folks? When is enough? They're already trying to force things upon us. I mean, I guess if you want an abortion, it's my body, my choice. So Sunisa Lee won the Olympic gold for the U.S. Isn't that nice? Because the other girl decided that was too much of a mental issue for her, which I get it. There is a lot of stress. There's a lot of stress on athletes. I mean, I can't even imagine. But don't you think her coach would have possibly noticed that she was under duress, and that maybe, just maybe, she was under duress, and they shouldn't have let her, and that they shouldn't have let her try out for the Olympics, and that maybe she should have sat this one out? I mean, isn't that what her coaches and her family are for? Did nobody give a shit about her because she's just, a dollar sign to them? I don't know, but I get that. However, she's an athlete. She's an Olympian. Let's look up Olympian. If I could spell. So the definition of Olympian, we'll go to the Merriam-Webster. So definition of Olympian is relating to or inhabiting Mount Olympus, benefiting, characteristic, or suggestive of the gods, conceiving as inhabiting Mount Olympus. So participant in Olympic Games. I don't know. To be an Olympian, to participate in the Olympics is not to be taken lightly. Do you know what I mean? Not just anybody gets to participate in the Olympics. There's lots of trials and shit that they have to go through. So wouldn't you have thought that someone would have been paying attention to her needing this, mental breakdown? And I saw I think it was Nino Rodriguez that pointed out, and maybe it's in here. Nobody knew who Lydia Jacobi was or expected anything from her when she emerged from the water at the end of the 100-meter breaststroke, squinted at the scoreboard with her name at the top, and then delighted to flip by some. Everybody knew who Simone Biles was and expected everything from her when she walked off the floor. After a disappointing vault at the outset of the team gymnastics competition, she looked vacant, then devastated as if supporting the burden of millions. This is the lot of Olympic athletes. Only if we pay strict attention to specific sports do we know any of those who've never competed in the games. Then once they've had a gold disc draped over their heads and deemed to have the winner's stand, we shower them with adoration. They are forgotten the next day, the next year, and then one after that, blah, blah, blah. And when they reappear, they are often bestowed with something else, not a medal, but a label, America's best hope. It's suddenly not about their hopes anymore, or of their good friends or their families or the people who's watched them in their hometowns. They are America's best hope. Who makes up this crap? What? Well, to some extent, we're all responsible, but I'll lay a sizable chunk of credit at the feet of the guy named Dick Ebersol back in the previous career of children. Why is Dick Ebersol. Um. Oh, because how did we get into 8 years after getting to outstanding achievement? What percent of the U.S. Biles' departure essentially made no difference in her team's finish. The way she was performing, they were headed for silver medals with her. Then they achieved silver medals without her. It was sad, right? But when I heard, I remember just briefly hoping she was okay and had good friends and family who understood whatever her problem was. She always seemed like such a vibrant and articulate young woman when I'd seen her interviewed. Anyway, it was on the beach volleyball. It was on to beach volleyball or swimming or basketball. Other an opportunity. Today we have Trump lapdogs such as Charlie Kirk and Clay Travis and dozens of others throwing red meat. They know we will be well received by their millions of devotees and say Simon Bales has embarrassed America. If you want to dig up their gibberish, be my guest. I'll only leave a smidge of Kirk's diatribe here. Remember, he fashions himself as an evangelical Christian. She's selfish and she's to blame. She's ashamed to think she's totally sociopathic. Oh, God. Yeah, Simone Biles just shows the rest of the nation that when things get tough, you shatter into a million pieces. Tough. Biles won the 2018 national all around. Well, here's my thing. Because Simone, she kind of, okay, here we go. She explains why she exited. So here. Simone said that it was been really stressful at the games, just a whole lot of just as a whole, not having an audience. There are a lot of different variables going into it. Simone said, it's been a long week. It's been a long Olympic run. It's been a long year. Just a different variables. And I think we're just a little too stressed out. We should be out here having fun. And sometimes that's not the case. She later repeated that she felt stressed out before the meet, noting that she was shaky beforehand. I've never felt like this going into a competition before. And I tried to go out, she said. But once I came out here, I was like, no, mental is not there. So I just need to let the girls do it and focus on myself. Well, that is kind of selfish. She knew she had it. She had a kind of inkling. She even states it here that she was stressed, but I'm gonna go. Someone else could have went in her place. She'd already done the Olympics in 2018. Give another hopeful a chance that wouldn't have maybe could have handled that stress better and she could have had a break, but she wanted the attention. She didn't mind the immediate attention as she was going in, but then the stress got to her. And I get that the stress gets to you. I do. And I hope to God that she is okay. I'm sure she's okay. I guarantee you that with the kind of money that she is, getting for what she does, believe me, they're paid well. She was mentally struggling with the pressure going into the Olympic Games. It wasn't an easy day. She wrote on Instagram, I do feel like I have the weight of the world on my shoulders at some times. Well, that's what happens when you're in the media. It's what happens. It's what happens to people in Hollywood. That's how a lot of people in Hollywood are happens to what happens to them. Or I should say Peter, but anyways, we won't go there. I truly feel like I do the way to, I know I brush it off and make it seem like pressure doesn't affect me, but damn, sometimes it's hard. Ha ha ha. Well, why would you ha ha ha? If damn it's hard, then you don't ha 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 if that's the case. The Olympics is no joke. No shit. The world looks at it. But I'm happy my family was able to be with me virtually. They mean the world to me. So, but she at one point, so she's pretty much, okay, so here goes. Lori added, when I want something like times where there's immense pressure and feeling of I don't want to let my team down, we don't want to speculate about why she exited at the end of the day, mentally, physically, we just want to make sure she's okay. She pretty much the weight of the world. She knew the pressures of going in there like she did. So I just don't quite get that. And that just, bothers me. that you're going to blame the world for a choice she made. It's not like she was forced. Nobody twisted her arm and said, "Oh, you have to do the Olympics." It certainly was fun when she was getting, all the media attention, possibly kickbacks. I don't know. I'm not a media. I've never been in the Olympics, but I'm sure it's just like those overpaid NFL people. Just more stuff from Michigan. Radioactive material missing en route to Michigan, NRCs. Radioactive material headed to Michigan from Ohio, from an Ohio company, never made it to its destination, according to a filing by the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission. In its current event notification report for Wednesday, the commission that regulates the commercial nuclear power plants and other civilian uses of nuclear materials in the U.S. and the Ohio Bureau of Radiation Protection had informed officials about the missing shipment involving prime NDT services. Oh. Iridium-192 is a radioactive isotope of iridium, which can be used in industrial gauges that inspect welding seams and such equipment as pipelines. Something's going to happen, guys. Yeah, something's going to happen. Sorry. Yeah. Anyways, and just more of her, Whitmer and so U.S. and Russia hold professional arms talks despite the tensions. Don't let these little things like this get you distracted from what's going on in Arizona, Georgia, Wisconsin. Okay. And here's that councilman that was accused that rewarded. I just crazy stuff. So Henry Ford Health System says the Delta is a threat and urges the jab. And it was confirmed in Saginaw County. Biden to launch a jab push for millions of federal workers. Walk off the job. That's all I can say. I really would. How Biles withdrawals impacts the U.S. And really, she impacts the teams to a certain degree because you let your teammates down. If I quit every day that I don't feel good, I would never show up for work, and it would put all of my coworkers in a short spot, and it would make things really hard for them to get their job done. So I'm just saying, there are days I don't feel like going to work either. The stress is not easy. Is Biden overlooking Bureau of Prisons as a reform target? That's not good either. So this is on the Free Press. From Google to Detroit City Hall, mayoral hopeful pushes. Mayoral hopeful Maya Jones wants more jobs, recreational development, and housing. I love how they don't put what her political affiliation is. Excuse me. That barometric. What's Maya Jones? I think she's Democrat. Let's see what she is, folks. She's nonpartisan. Yeah, better watch out those. Nonpartisans are Democrats in disguise. So anyways, there is a lot. I would head to Ballotpedia just to see what's going on, because we really need to start watching. It's just around the corner, folks, and not that I think it's going to be legit after what we went through last year, but make it count. Alrighty, I'm going to end this because my lunch is almost over and I have to eat my lunch before I get hangry. So let's end this with a few thoughts. Be kind. As we can see from our Olympic hopeful, you don't know the stresses and burdens that everyone's carrying. Every house has its cross. So try to be kind. If nothing else, pray. It definitely can't hurt. Um, Knowledge is power. You want to share that knowledge. And with knowledge comes great responsibility, like that superpower. So, share the knowledge, be responsible, and stay peaceful. There's no need to argue, threat with anybody about anything. That's what they want from people is they want an uprising. They want a certain demographic of people to uprise and fight, because then they can say that what happened in January was what they say happened, but it really wasn't what happened. So, anyways, I'm still wondering where Pelosi's laptop is, because I remember that was the big issue, that her laptop was stolen. I know they found her podium and her gavel, but whatever happened to her laptop? So, that being said, folks, I'm going to end this. Please like, subscribe, share. And if you can leave a comment or two, I'd appreciate that as well. Let me know what you'd like me to look into, and I'll do my best. Have a great day. It's almost Friday. We've almost made it to the end of the week. God bless you all, and thank you for listening and watching.